Joined Oaktree in June of 2007, right before the global financial crisis.
I joined Oaktree January 7th, 2002, about 5 years before Armen.
He's a lot more precise than me.
And a lot older. My first job in life was picking strawberries in Hillsboro, Oregon, but I assume that's not what you're asking about. My first professional job was working at McKinsey & Company here in Los Angeles as what they call a business analyst.
My first job was digging ditches for my father. He's a contractor. I guess my first behind the desk job was at Morgan Stanley in the M&A department in New York when I graduated from Stanford. I think it's the people that we work with. We are able to do a lot of great things together. There's a very cordial environment at Oaktree amongst the team and across the teams. It's very collaborative. And I think the people have an amazing combination of both intensity, like intellectual intensity, but also just really being great people to work with, in a close environment.
I would certainly agree with that. I mean, as a second factor, the fact that we get to match wits with other highly intelligent investors in our space, and frankly, there's a scorecard every year or every couple years that shows how you're doing. That's very invigorating. It's something I look forward to. For me, integrity.
For me, it's responsible. We feel responsible to one another, but we also feel responsible to our clients. I think that responsibility weighs heavy at Oaktree.
I think we take our responsibilities in the broadest sense very seriously. That's across a lot of different initiatives internally. And that's, again, really under the leadership of Howard and Bruce, who show it by example.
Howard has a lot of great quotes, but one of the more recent ones that I heard was, he was saying that people come to him all the time and say, do you know of any good investments? And his response is, it's like going to the doctor and saying, do you know any good medicines? Obviously it depends on the ailment, it depends on the desired outcome. So I think it's characteristic of Howard being funny, but also kind of delivering a message that's pretty multi-layered. That's one of my favorite quotes from him.
I'll just go with the classic, which is avoid the losers, the winners take care of themselves. I've also thought about the inverse, which is avoid the winners and the losers take care of themselves. I think you're out of business if that happens. So.
How I'll describe myself is, I have 4 kids. Each one of them is unique and different and special and amazing. And so I would describe myself as an active and happy father.
For me, the devotion he has to his family is pretty impressive. And again, I think of myself as really doing 2 things. I work at Oaktree and I'm with my family. He's even more that way.
He used a word to describe Oaktree that I would actually use to describe him, which is integrity. Bob is a very, very hard worker. I would even venture to say the hardest working person at Oaktree. But more than that, I think the integrity with which he guides his own actions, his own interactions with people, I think is top class and unmatched in this industry.
I generally get up anywhere from 4:45 to 5:30. It's my window.
Yeah, I'm more like a 5:30 to 6 kind of guy. Every time I drive into the parking structure here, his car is here, and it's usually the only one.
It's easy to find parking at that point. So.
Exactly.
I personally know 2 NBA coaches who have won championships. So Mike Budenholzer and I went to Pomona College together, and Eric Spoelstra and I went to Jesuit High School in Portland, Oregon. I'm not sure either would admit to knowing me at this point, but I have records, so I can prove it. So.
I note that neither of them drafted Bob to play basketball on those teams.
And that shows good judgment on their part. So anyway.
I think for me, I have 2 older brothers who are surgeons. I thought I was supposed to be a surgeon. That's why I went to Stanford Medical School for a master's degree. But pretty early on to that pursuit, I realized that I can't stand the sight of blood. And I actually passed out in the middle of USC's emergency room while I was visiting my brother. And when I came to, he said, "You will never be a physician." I mean, I think for me, it's consistent with how I described Oaktree, which is responsibility first and opportunity second. We have a responsibility to our clients, we have a responsibility to our stakeholders, including our employees and counterparties, and I think that needs to come first for us to have an enduring, durable business. And then second is opportunity. I think there's so much opportunity at Oaktree. I think there's so much that we do and there's so much that we can do that it's really exciting. I mean, we have grown a lot in the last several years. I think we are just scratching the surface in ways that we could grow together and do a lot more interesting investments that can really add value to our clients, and I'm excited to pursue those opportunities.
I wholeheartedly agree with all that. I mean, leadership for me comes down to, I think, 4 words. 1 is courage, 2 is humility, 3 is compassion, and 4 is integrity. And I think those things are very present here at Oaktree, and I think very present in hopefully us as well.
Bob and I both are excited and energized to really take this firm from its very, very strong, last 25 years to incredible new heights. I think we're positioned in a way that it is ours for the taking. We're excited about the partnership with the employees of Oaktree, with the investors of Oaktree, to really accomplish all of the potential that this firm has within it.
I think Armen aspire for nothing less than for this to become the leading non-investment grade manager of capital in the world. And I think that is not a sort of far-fetched or unachievable goal. I think that's well within our grasp. So I am excited, and I'm very excited to be working with Armen. I think he's world-class, and I know we're going to do some good things together.